The following is a KPB Media Works production.
Choose your fighter.
What is going on, gang? We are back with another episode of KPBCast. This is Rodimus Prime, one of your fun hosts. I just want to remind you guys that you can catch our episodes on various podcast platforms that you can listen to, including Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. So be sure to check those out. You can also check us out video-wise on our Twitch TV and on YouTube. So today we have a very awesome person, very cool lady. Uh, been around the scene for a while now. Everyone loves her. Uh, I don't know what else to say. I guess I'll let her speak for herself. This is Tiffany. Tiffany, what's up? Good afternoon. How are we doing today?
Hi, I'm so happy to be here. How are you doing, Rob?
I am good. I'm good. I just wanted to have you on the show and just feature you. I think you're an awesome cornerstone of the community. We like to just focus on personalities, big and small, within the community. And today, I'm happy to have you here. So I'm going to jump into it
Oh,
in a bit.
thank you. I'm ready. I'm ready. Bring it on. Bring it on.
So tell me about Tiff when she's not pressing buttons, when she's not chatting it up, being a social butterfly within the FTC. Who are you when you remove all of that stuff from you?
Oh, so Tiffany, day by day, the everyday Tiffany. Well, if I'm not pressing buttons and going out and everything, I am a chocoholic that watches like romantic coms and everything like that. And I'm a makeup artist by day, gamer by night. But pretty much I'm just like chilling, laid back. I read. That's my, just to get away from the spotlight. But when the cameras turn on, you already know I'm pressing buttons.
You pressing buttons all the
I'm
time.
pressing.
What's your top 5 rom-coms?
Ooh, well, I would have to say um, it's actually a mixture because I watch a lot of like Korean rom-coms too.
Okay.
So I would have to say K2, which is a mixture of action in it too. Um, let's see what else. What a Girl Wants is one of my favorites. Amanda Bynes. Um, hmm, I guess I'll have to go with My First Love. That's also a Korean rom-com. So say like the fourth one would probably have to be Ever After, and the last one I would have to
Which one?
say
I'm sorry. I mean, which one is Ever After again? I'm trying to think about it in my head.
Ever After is the one with Drew Barrymore. She's like the little Cinderella story type of thing, but
Okay.
back in the
Okay. Okay.
day.
Okay. Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I know it's a little like but I kind of like I like romance, so I guess can't say com, but it's a romance. And the last one I would probably have to say um Itaewon Academy. There we go. That's a Korean one. Oh, Itaewon Class. Sorry.
How did you get into the whole? I know it's easy to find rom-coms here, but what attracted you to the Korean rom-coms?
Maybe because it was just more the fact that I am into like Asian culture to begin with.
Hmm.
And it was more of just like an understanding about like the difference between TV in America and TV over there. And I just want to see like, like kind of compare the differences and, what I like about it, what I don't like about it. And it just made me like very like fascinated that I just started watching it more because they're more in depth in story. Like
Okay.
they really know how to tug at you. Like they really get your emotions and I'm an emotional person, so it kind of just went together.
Who does the comedy aspect better, American rom-coms or Korean rom-coms, or is it because are there like cultural differences to where you may not understand the humor of Korean rom-coms? I'm asking for someone that doesn't know. I personally have never watched a Korean rom-com, so I just
Really?
want to.
Oh my
No, I'm
god.
sorry. I'm sorry, I haven't.
I would say, hmm?
Yeah, Steve. Steve's chiming in. Steve, our producer, said I'm missing out. So now I know I'm getting it from both ends now. So,
Well,
but
I
yeah, tell
feel
me.
like um the Korean like romantic comedies. They're more cutesy, and Americans, it's more of like we're highly like sarcastic and everything with our comedy and whatever. But everything over there, it just seems more like comedy about like love and this and that. They're not like as like raw as we are over here. They're just more of like cutesy and fun type of thing. So yes, so if I want to have like a little light moment, I'll watch something Korean. But like over here, yeah, if I really want to really laugh and just be like a sarcastic or mean or anything, yeah, I'll watch an American rom-com. Yeah.
Okay. All right, it's good to know. Good to know. So we stumbled onto your lack of Asian culture. For lack of a better words, would some describe you as what we call weeb in that regard? Are you like that immersed into like Asian culture? It's just a question. It's I know there's levels to
um,
this. So like, what's your level?
I wish I can really show you, but I have three swords three
I don't want to see
katanas.
your sword, man. I don't want those kind of problems, man. I'm very respectful of you, and I really appreciate you. I don't want to have to ever get into that situation. But no, no. But
But
go ahead. Go ahead.
yes, I'm really like pretty much like invested in like into I'm like I love me some like even some martial arts movies. Like I love I mean I watch and read anime. It's like
Okay.
like I'm really so invested in. So yes, I'm one of them. I definitely one of them.
Who's your favorite martial arts actor or actress?
Ooh. Wait, can I have actor and actress, not just
Sure, definitely. Yes.
okay, men, I would have to say Tony Jaa. I
Okay.
love Tony Jaa. What I have to
Eight
say
limbs. It's
for
like
women,
always he's so
yes,
dramatic with the elbows. I think he has the most dangerous elbows in the business.
yes, and also I just love how he could just run to a door, just one kick. You just see this running kick out of nowhere, and it just starts a fight. I love Tony Jaa. I can't. Also, when it comes down to the women, I would have to say, ooh, that's hard. Because a part of me wants to say Sang Z, but I would have to say, my God, that's really, really hard. You know what? I'm just gonna stick with Zhang. I'm gonna stick with Zhang. I'm gonna stick with
Okay.
Zhang.
All right. Okay. There's definitely a respectable choice for sure. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I love that's awesome. That's awesome. What was Tiffany like? What was her childhood like growing up? Like, how
Ooh,
did that go?
you really want to
Yeah,
know?
we're trying to get into these stories. We want to know the real of people.
Okay.
Whatever you want to discuss, whatever you're comfortable discussing, of course. Yeah.
Okay. Tiffany, as a child, you were actually very, very, very surprised. I was a huge tomboy. I was literally called one of the boys. My mom thought she had two sons.
Okay.
I was, besides being into games and everything like that, I was the one that was wearing like the FUBU, some of like the Rockaware and this, that, and the other,
That's
while
what's
girls are
up.
doing like, the apple bottoms and stuff like that. Like I was
Mhm.
wearing, I think one of the brands called was like Johnny Blaze. I think that was like the Method Man ones that they
Yeah,
had.
yeah,
I was
yeah,
getting the
yeah.
small ones to fit me, you know. I really thought that, I was just one of the guys. And the only time I really just used like the fact of me being a girl was when I used to hustle guys when I was
Okay.
a little kid.
Okay.
Which also ties into gaming. It's a funny story.
We're
I'll
going to
make
get
sure
into that
it's
for
short.
sure. I said we're going to get into that for sure now. But go ahead.
Okay, so my brother, he taught me how to play games like so well at a very young age, and one of the main games that he was training me in was Mortal Kombat.
Mm.
So in the past, so what we would do is that he would, tell me what to do, what prep, like, challenge me and everything like that, so I could get good. So I would go to the movie theaters, and they had an arcade there. And me, I'm just like a little, just a little girl, just looking around like, what game should I play? What game should I play? And they had to get like a little step stool for me to actually play because I was so
Oh,
short to actually play the games. So all you see is this girl with barrettes, me on a step stool trying to play a game, and my brother would go and find a little kid or whatever, like, yo, I bet you $3 that little girl's gonna beat you. And the boy would be like, what? He'd be like, yo, I bet you $3. $3. That girl gonna beat you. She can't beat me, she little. So I'm sitting here just waiting around like, oh, I wish I had someone I could play with. And the kid would come over and be like, oh, I'm gonna play you. So I would go ahead and I would start really like I don't know what I'm doing. And then it'll go from oh to just tap 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 tap.
oh my God.
We want so much money, at least for us, like being little kids. We want so much money. It could be like just $20 for us was like really like a lot of money.
There's like a
We were little.
$500.
And
Do
we
a
were
lot with
just like,
20
oh,
bucks
we
as a
came
kid.
and watched a free movie. Our tickets were free.
That's what's up.
And
That's
after
interesting.
that,
No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, but I'm saying like, after that, I was just like, okay, I'm going to use the fact that, being like a girl and everything, they're underestimating me, but I'm just like, calculation of it all, the scheme of it all.
Like,
And yeah.
what can we do here?
Oh,
That's
yes. I
awesome.
used it to my advantage.
Awesome. That's an awesome story to start this. So did you have? So you were, I guess you were doing this in arcades. Like, how was your arcade experience in general growing up? Aside from, your remarkable hustle at such a young age.
Um, my arcade experience, it was just pretty much I just went everywhere because I was the one nagging my mom to like take me to a place. I'm like, I don't care if we went to a Chuck E. Cheese, as long as I went to an arcade, I was okay. And I actually got really good in Tekken at one time, and then it was just more of like every weekend I had to get to play Tekken. I fell in love with Tekken, but that's also another story we could cover later on. But yeah, that's when I was just a fiend every weekend, no matter what. We had a place called Sports Park that wasn't so far from the house, and I was just always in there. That and I sometimes if I want to like calm down from being competitive, I'll play like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles one, and then we'll just all get on and play together. But then that, yeah, just every weekend. I went hardcore.
Now I know you. In recent years, and outside of FTC, you've did a lot of FPSs like you did Apex Legends and stuff.
Yes, sir.
What are your favorite games like along that genre that like really appeal to you from even now and then even back then? Or I don't know how long your history it is with FPSs, but tell me a bit
With
about
just
that.
FPS?
Oh no,
Um,
just FPSs.
just Call of Duty. Pretty much that was it. I wasn't really into it because I was more into like fighting games, but this is more of like a new thing for me getting more into the FPS now. But
Right.
mostly it was just Call of Duty, and then I just went back to the fighting games, and then Apex came out, and then rest was history. Um, so yeah. I'm sorry, you know how I am. I'm animated. I'm
No,
sorry.
I know exactly how you are. So now you're here. You're getting your. How do you get immersed into the FGC? Like, what gets you to like? I would say maybe the first event where you start realizing that hey, this is an actual community and people are really about this life and they're really good and like when does that happen for you?
Oh, I could tell you literally the day that it got me hooked. If you like, um, my first experience when it came down to the FGC was me going to a place. I'm not sure if you're familiar with local battles.
Yes. Oh
It's
yeah.
in Fort Lee. Yes. So it's actually a very funny story, and it's going to be a couple call outs. They're going to hate me for saying this, but it was a funny story. But this is what made me come back. So pretty much my friend, his name is Danny, he brought me to local battles to kind of cheer me up from a situation I was dealing with because a little tidbit, I was actually engaged a long
Oh,
time ago. And I wasn't engaged anymore at that time. My choice.
oh,
Huh.
sorry
But
to hear.
anyway, but he wanted to go and make me feel better, and he told me about the FGC and that he goes to these tournaments, and it's very fun. So he wanted to take me to something small so I could just get the feel of it. So he took me to local battles. Right. When I say everyone looked at me like I was an alien when I came in, everyone was just going like, who is this girl? What's going on here? Is she a girlfriend of somebody? Who is this alien life form? What's going on? And I'm like, okay, fine. So it went from, which is definitely the funny part of the story, I witnessed a one-on-one with Sanford Kelly and K Brad, Street
Okay.
Fighter. So they were playing, and I'm thinking like, okay, this is kind of cool, whatever. Sanford got extremely upset because he lost to K Brad, and he just went crazy. And I'm like, what's going on? He's just like, oh my god, I had that, I had that, I had that. I don't understand what's going on. I had that, I had that. And I'm sitting here like my mind's looking, and I'm next to Sanford once he got out of his chair. So I'm standing next to him watching. And right, when I say I'm only used to people getting mad like when playing like Madden,
Yeah.
that's the kind of rage I've seen. Like, yeah, like I was mad and girl, hey. So yeah, like I was used to that just for that. But for a fighting game, I wasn't used to that. So I'm literally going like, oh my God, he's right next to me. What am I gonna do? My mind is telling me to leave, but my body's not receiving it. I need to get out. Oh my God, he's gonna accidentally bump into me. Oh my God, Tiffany, run, run, run. and, and then the guy city junior, well, he's Manny now, yeah, Manny, he comes out and he goes and he grabs Sanford by like his shoulder, and then he was like, gonna get him next time, man, you're gonna get him next time, don't worry about it. And then you see Sanford going, I got this, I got this, I got this, I got this, I got this. No problem, I got this.
Oh,
Let me go and walk this off. Let me go walk this off. I'm gonna walk this off.
yes, that's
Did I get it
animated
right?
fantasy. Yes. That was an accurate description, I think. Don't
I
get
love you
don't
so,
don't get
Sanford.
mad
Love you,
at her.
Sanford.
She's just telling a story, man. We just got to put the visual. So
Yes, yes. So then after that, he came to the rescue to, have Sanford walk off. And then Manny turns to me and he goes, well, you're okay. And I'm like, yes, I'm fine. He goes, oh, so you don't understand this, you'll understand it once you start playing, video games. And I go, sweetie, I've been playing video games since Sega Genesis. Do you want to talk about Eternal Champions or Golden
okay,
Axe? I could start with
okay,
that. Do you want to
okay,
go into the Nintendo? Because I could go to that. Do you want to go to
okay.
even like the stuff that we played on Sega Dreamcast? Do we want to do a PlayStation 1, 2, and 3? What do you want to talk about, honey? Because we can go there. And he was literally going, whoa. And he was just like, oh, you know what you're talking about. So once I said that, Ron, it was like, I can't even like explain like how much like I was like confused, but no exaggeration. I had a crowd around me, like different guys coming around me, going like, "She knows what she's talking about. What were you guys talking about? What?" And I'm looking around like, I and then we just had like talks, and I was having debates between like which one was the best Final Fantasy, and we were having like long debates just on the floor, back and forth. And I was just so excited and sucked in. I'm like, I need more of this. This is my tribe here. Like, I need to be with more gamers and talk about this and go back and forth. I love this. I have to come back. And then I that the rest was history. Like, I just had to go and play again. It was just the people, the energy, when people win, when people lose. It's just it's amazing. It's amazing. There's nothing that could really beat the FGC. I'm sorry.
Awesome. I tend to agree so much. I I have had that feeling since I was a kid in the arcades. Like, just, I've had the luxury to bounce from different bodegas, corner stores in the Bronx, and go to, comic shops, pizzerias, all that stuff. So I
Hmm.
met Steve, my co-producer. Um, and it is, yeah, it's like the hype of like winning, and that's what we had. We didn't really have like these offline events that we do now, and then now we have Evo and stuff like that. um
Hmm.
back then, like, maybe something like uh a final round was just happening or just starting. um Evo was Battle by the Bay, and then B5 before it became that. So those things didn't even happen until after. We did have Chinatown Fair, so even going down to those places and seeing that energy, that was a home of a lot of East Coast third strike gods.
Hmm.
Any gods really that play anything that from the East Coast. So yeah, I totally get that. Just walking in, how can you mistake that energy? And anywhere that has a fighting game, and having a pile of people, you feel that energy and that excitement no matter who you are. And so
Hmm.
I totally understand totally how that can just draw you in such an instant, especially when you already have this background as a gamer. So that being said, uh, I want to kind of touch on like that experience and kind of like moving forward. Have you maybe had a hard time not being taken seriously because you're a female in these spaces? And like, how have you always been treated with open arms? Has that, because I tend to ask like the women that have been on the show of their experiences, and as we know, in these spaces, keep it real, it gets very misogynistic. We have fools, um, men that can't comprehend certain things, and it's not always peaches and cream. So what's your experience in that aspect?
Besides what I just told you, actually going to like a big, like the big tournaments, like a Big E tournament or anything like that. For
Mm.
example, the guys in the beginning, it was a little rough, but I was always a person that spoke, my mind. Like I was always going back and I'm like, no, you can't talk to me a certain way. You can't, you know, you
Not
can't
here
like
for the
try to
shit.
push me over or whatever. It's just not here. Like, and Rod, you know me personally, like,
Mm.
I'm nice, but that's not all I am.
That's not all you are.
you know?
Listen.
So in one of my experiences, I even had to have a talk with I won't say his name, but pretty much one of like the guys that's known for being loud and getting an audience around him and keeping
Mm.
it real and doing this and whatever. Um, he came up to me, and the first thing he was doing, he was just like licking his lips and going like, oh, all right, and he's doing it in front of a group, and I'm turning around like, you okay? Do you need chapstick? You got the LL Cool J going on? Like, what's going on? Like, what's happening? And
Mm.
then one of like, my friends come around and they were pretty much he was going like, oh, is that you? Is that you play? Is that you? And I'm like, why can I not just be here just to play games? Why can I not just be a spectator? Why do I have to
Right.
be someone's girlfriend? Why are we judging me or putting a label on me as soon as I get here?
Right.
I didn't ask for that. I asked to press some buttons.
Mm.
you know, so he was just like, nah, that's my friend, but keep it, cool or whatever, like chill. So then later on when I was by myself in the lobby, that same person came around and I was just like, hey, let me talk to you for a second. And he goes like, what's up? And I'm like, I know you don't know me, I don't know you. But I don't receive stuff like that very well. My name is Tiffany, your name. And he said his name. I'm like, we're going to talk to each other with respect from now on. I'm just letting you know that. Even if we're not friends, we're going
Right.
to talk to each other this way. We will be cordial, we'll be civil, and that is all. Is that okay
Right.
with you? And then he said, yeah, my bad. I didn't mean like that. I was mostly joking around and stuff like that. I'm like, yeah, but since you don't know me, you can't joke with me in any kind of way.
Right.
So most of the time when I had to establish that early on, but guys caught on quick. They
Yeah.
caught on very quick. So yeah, but usually when I talk to girls that have like, that issue, I'm just like, listen,
Mhm.
stand your ground. Stand
Right.
your ground. If you are
Mm.
uncomfortable, make it be known that you are uncomfortable.
Right.
Do not
Definitely.
wait for someone to go ahead and say, just let it be there. And if they are
Mhm.
crossing the line, then you're gonna have to go to someone to assist you, or even like go to a tournament, owner or a TL to be
Yeah.
like, hey, I'm uncomfortable.
Right.
Let's fix it, you know?
Absolutely.
But yeah, was it a little like tricky in the beginning? Yes, but I felt like it could have been worse if I was silent.
Hmm. I agree. I agree.
Mm.
And I commend you for that. I commend you for that. This is not to say that other women don't have that ability or power, because it's not easy. And as we know, um, in any community, any situation, um, women aren't always made to feel safe. So it kind of comes on with the
Right,
territory. But I'm
right.
happy that in your case, you're able to establish your ground and establish your respect and say, "Hey, I'm not here for it." Like, you know, mind your manners and watch your tone, kind of thing. You know.
Right.
Um, so I know with that, and I see you at tournaments. We interact all the time. Um, have that changed? Like, have you like, are you known as like, okay, let's not fuck with her because she's gonna put a foot in your ass, at least verbally, you
Yes.
know. Um,
Yes. Yes.
and do you feel like you have that respect now, and that even from
Absolutely.
the time you've entered the community until now, how has the overall feel for that changed? Has it changed in your opinion? Has it gotten better? Is it worse?
I feel like there is still improvement for people that don't know me. Like, I feel only like uncomfortable with the ones that like come around and just like start something, but they don't know me at all. But I felt like a difference, like after like speaking up, and I have people around me that's in my corner. Like I felt difference. Like there's a difference after standing my ground. There's definitely a difference, and there's a big respect, especially the guys that are around me, like just like friends, they'll come in and step in as well. But it's just how it is. There's always like a new person coming around, and they'll talk to you any kind of way, and I
Always a
constantly
move back.
have to establish. Yeah, so like you said, you've seen me. There's that respect. Everybody's just like, they move out my way, or they say hi and give me a hug. The respect is there. I definitely felt the difference than what it was starting, absolutely. But of course, there will be that one person that think, well, this is not the streets. This is not where I'm from. This is a tournament in God knows what land. I could say and do whatever I want. And this girl
No,
ain't gonna do nothing. She little.
no, sadly mistaken on that one. But um, so to go in something a little more lighthearted, you mentioned by name Tekken and oh my god, I just forgot what you said. Tekken and Mortal Kombat. Sorry. What
Yes,
is your true love in fighting games?
like my favorite game.
Yeah, your number one.
In fighting games, I have to go with Tekken. I have to go
Tekken.
with
Okay.
Tekken. No,
All right.
Tekken. Literally, I felt like I was most competitive once I started playing that game. It was to the point that even though, when you have the moves list, like when you're trying to learn how to play, back in
Mhm.
the day, I would use the moves lists, to be in the lab and doing stuff, but I would also actually use my notebook and write down the moves list so I could really have it in my brain, like up da, 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 and this is this, and like I was actually practicing it in my mind to remember. So when everybody comes to play Tiffany's Nina Williams, it's a oh shit, it's Tiffany's Nina Williams, so because as a kid, you only had a certain amount of time, like a day, to actually play, because then your mother or your father's going, okay, time for bed, or oh, you can only play this amount, you got to do this. So I was literally in my room. If I couldn't sleep, I'm looking at my notebook going, okay, boom, 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 I got to remember this, boom, 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 I got to remember this. So
Wh-
Tekken was literally the game that I'm still forever obsessed with. It's actually, if you can see, My poster here
Yeah,
is
I do see
Tekken.
it.
Tekken Attack.
Mhm. I see it,
Yes.
definitely.
So
What a great
Tekken
game.
till I die. Nina Williams till I die. Nina Williams
Why
all the
Nina?
way.
Is Nina like, I don't know, like she got the sachet, the fashion sense, like kind of like you in a sense. Like I see you, just being all prettied
Oh,
up
come
and
on. I
stuff.
was
Is
dressing
that
down today. Hold on.
no, definitely no? Oh my God, Jesus. Oh, go ahead.
um, the funny thing is, it wasn't so much of the fashion sense. I mean, don't get me wrong. Nina looks good. She looked good, girl. She looked good. But it was
Go
more of her
girl.
strength.
Okay,
It was
yes.
more of her strength. She, you know, I remember when I was reading the book, like the little booklet from the game, oh my God, like
Hmm.
the big little chunky
Hmm.
clothes we had. And I was just reading and I'm just like, this woman's an assassin. She's a sexy assassin and she's strong. And she didn't even care when it came down to her sister. Anna
Yeah.
got them hands when Nina was mad. Anna had them hands. Even a rocket one time or two. But still, she got them hands. And I was just like, this is what I really want to like embody, just the strength. And remember, like I said, I was a tomboy, so I wasn't trying to look all girly at the time. It was just her strength and that moment to not give a you know what. It was just that. And I don't think at the time when Tekken 1 and 2 and 3, I don't think there was a woman as strong as her, like that boldness. I mean,
Right.
there were, of course, women that were strong, but still, it was just like her boldness, and yeah, that's
Yeah, there's a definitely like an attitude about her, and it's like I tend to be concerned about someone wanting to put a heel in your back, and like break your spine or something. But yeah, she's very well thought out character design. I do appreciate her character. I can definitely see why lots of people, men and women, flock to that character. One of the best character designs in that game, totally.
it's very technical. Yes, it's a very technical character.
Um, let's talk about your makeup artist career. What got you into makeup, which I find interesting because I know you mentioned you're a tomboy, so it's like I guess you're more into like the whole masculine way of dress and you know
Hmm.
features. I remember you even posted on your Facebook. I saw like a old picture a little while back. You posted, and everybody was like, "Oh my God, that was you!" Like they've never seen you in that light. So what kind of gets you into like being a makeup artist? Like how did that transition happen?
I have a fun story about that. Um, so when I graduated high school, like I was still the tomboy. I was barely, looking like girly or anything at all. Um, and I was going for college. I went for fine art because originally I wanted to be just an actual artist, like to draw comics and and everything like that. That was actually what I was going for originally. But when I went to college and we had the art class, me and the professor went back and forth. I felt like my art wasn't speaking to me, and she kept trying to have me do art exactly like her.
Hmm.
And I'm like, I felt like I wasn't loving art the way that I used to, like, because I was doodling every day. There was always something I was doing, and I didn't have that same feeling like she was draining me. Like, she wasn't making art fun for me anymore. And I'm like, I really need to have my art speak to me. So my little cousin, her name is Danielle, I could say that. She uh when we were growing up, we were both little Slim Jims and everything like that. But she felt like, over time that she wanted to look like more beautiful. She didn't want to have that same tomboy look anymore. She wanted to, play with makeup and this and that. So I'm like, well, I have some makeup which was just enough just to cover blemishes and stuff, but I wasn't doing lashes and brows and stuff. It was just little stuff here and there. But I was just like, listen, I have some colors, I have the things, and we can try something out, you know. Um, and after that, I just started playing with her and just seeing how it worked. And she looked in the mirror and her face changed for me. She just really looked at herself in a different way. And she was just, I feel beautiful. I look beautiful. And at that moment, I'm like, that's it. My art's speaking to me. This is what I need to do. This is my calling. That's it. So I got into cosmetology school. I was beating faces and also doing hair, of course, because I was cosmetology had hair. So I'm sitting here doing weaves and makeup, and it was just all these women, the way that they just felt like they transformed with just little bits of color and just a little bit of time. And I'm like, my whole thing is I've always wanted to help people and make them feel stronger, bolder, beautiful. This is it. This is it. And almost 15 years in the industry,
Okay.
and it feels like the first day.
Nice, nice. It's a passion that you love, and um, I had a wise man once tell me, go for your passions and go for what you're passionate about. Then, if you can't do that, then make the most money you can. But I think when you go for your passion is when you're most happy with it. People can make money and not be happy, right? So
Right.
definitely, like this sounds like a passion for you. Has been, of course, 15 years. Um, what are you doing nowadays in terms of like being a makeup artist? Like, how does that look like?
Oh, I'm actually one of the senior artists and market specialists for a brand called It Cosmetics. I mostly teach stores like Sephora's and Ulta's and everything of how to use the products, and also do demonstrations and do actual, makeup looks and stuff like that, and cover some of their events as well. Um, it's a fun job. It's a lot to do,
Mhm.
but it's definitely like up there when it comes down to like makeup artistry. Like once you're in that type of level, it's yeah, it's pretty good.
You ever had to work with someone that was like famous or like very known in the industry and maybe had to do their makeup or just work alongside them? Has there ever been like a situation like that where like, you someone maybe you looked up to in the industry and like maybe you got a chance to either do their makeup or work alongside them and you're like, oh my God, this is like amazing. Like, or if not, is there
Um,
someone you wanted to work with?
Someone that I wanted to work with. Oh, actually, yeah. There was a moment where I felt, how could I say, I felt really happy to work with my account executive Sharon, because back when I started with makeup, I was still like learning how to do makeup on myself, and the way that people were like training like for me to do makeup, they were mostly having me do makeup on people that were a lot more fairer than I am, being a brown skinned woman, I was pretty much so involved with doing makeup for them and doing styles and looks for them, that I couldn't find someone to really look up to, like, besides just little magazines and stuff here and there, but someone to actually teach me how to do makeup for people of my complexion. And this lady Sharon, she's a rock star. She travels a lot. She did shows, and she pretty much talks about like embracing, like, our skin, and being bold and being black and beautiful and everything like that. When I finally met her, I'm just like, oh my God, like, you're amazing. And she was telling me what I could use. And pretty much like, to also, that makeup is not just what you put on your face, is the attitude that you have with it. You can go ahead and look like $1,000,000, but you can't sell that million if you're just not feeling like you're worth $5. you know so later on, which was about, I'm going to say 3 years ago, I was applying for the job of a cosmetics. I'm sitting here, doing demonstrations, because that's also like, it's a little different than like a, like a non-regular job. Like with makeup, you
Right.
also have to do the actual demo to show that you are an artist, and also how to sell and everything for the interview. So I didn't know who was the account exec or the head honcho of, of a cosmetics for New York City. But I'm sitting here doing this with this, this other lady, and doing what I have to do. I'm just like, okay, okay, okay. I think I did all right. And she's telling me, like, I did a great job, and, she's going to pass the word over to Sharon. I'm like, Sharon, who? And then the same woman that I idolized for years followed her trend, the one that told me to be beautiful and helped me get myself together. Like, she was there. And I'm like, wait, you're my boss? What?
That's awesome. That's awesome.
So I'm literally going like, wait, what? And I'm sitting here like, she's not gonna remember me. She's not gonna remember me. She's not gonna remember me. And she looks at me. She goes, "This is Tiffany." And we're freaking out. And then it was to a point that like she was trusting like me with certain events and this and that, and then we're working together like a power team. So yes, that was my moment because I get to work with my idol.
Nice. That's so awesome to hear. I know we joked about this before we got on, but I gotta ask for some tips because I know my skin is a little oily. What advice
Oily.
you have, like for the boys in the community, mostly
Oh.
that don't aren't well versed in, of course, makeup or skincare, um, and like just basic stuff. Like what could someone like me do, like in terms of like dealing with my skin, stuff like that. I'm trying to be like you.
And the funny thing about that is I get a lot of guys even in the scene that's in my inbox asking me for those type of tips. And I have
Nice.
actually recommended some products and they have messaged me back saying that their skin looks a whole lot better. But pretty much just to say to you and everyone that, of course, haven't met me yet or anything like that, skincare is very, very important. Moisturize, 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 moisturize. Okay. A lot of people think that when they have oily skin, that they feel like they should have like a light moisturizer or shouldn't moisturize at all. People don't realize that, your skin always tries to repair itself. So you may be oily, but you might actually be dehydrated at the same time. Your body's trying so hard to produce more oil to try to balance your skin. You're overworking your skin if you do not moisturize every single day.
Gotcha.
So there have been some people that I've had in shows, especially men. And men, it's actually been a really good amount of my clients, yes. With skincare. They were just like, oh, I just wash my face and I just keep it moving. And I'm just like, okay, so what do you use even for like your cleanser? Are you using something that's like moisturizing? It's just like, oh, I just use the soap that I wash my hands with. Oh, is that something you have done?
No,
Am I
back in
calling
the
you
day, I didn't know anything back in the day, but I'm just kind of, wincing at now because it's like, it's not the way to go. So
Yeah, because you realize that you're putting your entire day on your face.
mm, mm,
You're like literally, you're washing your hands because you did something in the kitchen. You're washing your hands because you were outside in the streets of New York City and you touched this, that, and the other. You're washing your hands with that same bar of soap and you're putting it down. And then later on, you're putting everything that you have washed off
at
right
the
here.
streets.
And all of the streets, all of it, everything on your face. So
Oh
my
man.
main tip when it comes down to the men, one, if you're going to use a bar, use a bar that is separate, a face bar, and you put it in a different like location away from the sink and that the other. Even if you want to put in like a little container, that's fine. Also the ones that you can pump in, that's the safest ones, like the liquid cleansers, very safe. You don't have to worry about anything. Also aim for something that's moisture. And even though Rod, you don't age, so you're fine. But if you find a cleanser that has hyaluronic acid actually helps give you that little bounce to your skin and make you look more youthful. And a lot of brands, including even Neutrogena, has a new one. You might want to try that just to go ahead and keep yourself looking all nice and tight and everything. So
Nice.
yeah, but definitely moisturize. Even if you don't want anything heavy, you can use a light moisturizer, but please moisturize. It's amazing how much of a difference it shows in men. But still, moisturize your body on top of it, guys. Please. No ashiness. If you can. Moisturize, moisturize, moisturize. Please put some lotion, some Vaseline, cocoa butter, put the
I don't
Jergens
want
on. I'm
it's
so tired.
funny. It's funny, but it's kind of a lot to ask for when we're seeing of people who know not to take showers. So it's like, I feel like let's start with the basics.
I'm sorry, don't get me started on the ones that don't take a shower.
for those on the podcast that are listening, she had the illest eye roll because we know the truth. Like
You
there's
know,
definitely
the
a hygiene
secrets.
issue. We should be getting Axe sponsorships, right? Or like Old Spice or something, right? Something to like say, just take a sample of this and go back to your room for like half an hour, come back. You know.
But Rob, you still gotta mention that there are those same guys that will take the Axe and the Old Spice and just spray it on their stank body. So now you just smell like just a all messed up, burnt up candle, just walking around. And you want to come in front of me saying hi, and I'm gonna be like,
Hard, hard.
"Hmm." And I'm like, boy, are you scratching sniff? Like, is that what's going on? Like, oh my Jesus, just back up, please back up,
Mm-mm.
please refrain. God take you, help me, Jesus. Um,
Hygiene aside, hygiene aside, um, skincare aside, what's your favorite like just gaming, FGC pop culture events? Not anything like that, like conventions and stuff. Like, are you a general fan of those outside of the FGC? And if so, along with the FGC, what are your favorite ones to attend to?
being like a New York Comic Con type of thing,
Yeah, yeah,
and
definitely.
oh yes, well that's one of my favorites of going to. Also, the anime cons. What was it? Um, Other than that, it's just mostly just like just fighting game tourneys and New York Comic Con mostly. Because I get to see more of everything, not just gaming, but just like people's like talent when it comes to costume making and cosplay and um also just really talking to the ones that were into comic books like me and engaging and actually seeing like this is a great edition of this, and I'm like my first New York Comic Con, I was just like, this is what heaven is, right? This is literally what heaven is because I
This
could
is
go
what
ahead
this
and
is
talk
what
to,
going broke is. This is what don't bring my money
oh,
here. I'm
oh,
gonna buy
child.
everything that I can.
I was just like, am I going to be able to pay my rent when I get out here? Because I see a lot of Devil May Cry, posters made and this and
But,
that, and they got this
the
art over here,
models,
and
the models and figures, it looks so awesome. And I'm not even a huge like figure model type person. Like, but I go see these and they're like amazing detail. Like, especially the ones to scale. Like, oh, I wanted to fit this huge Vegeta in the corner of my house somewhere, and I can't because I don't have the money or space.
it was just like no one understands me like Vegeta does. Let me have this.
Oh my god, yes. Um, when to I kind of ask this about from all my guests because we're all affected by this. Uh, as we know, we're in the middle of a pandemic, um,
Right.
and like how has that, for better or worse, like shape your life to where you are today? Like, and of course, it's still ongoing. Like, how has it been for you? I hope that it's been at least somewhat bearable. Compared to a lot of people have definitely not had the best situation when it comes to this pandemic.
Hmm.
So, like, this how has it been for you? How have you been managing? How have you been holding up? What's that been like for you?
I feel like the pandemic has just it's it's horrible. It is completely horrible. I'm holding up now because I this like happening actually just reminded me of what was really important, you know. Especially it helped me connect me more to my family
Okay.
than and really like embrace my friends, and it just shows me how much that we took for granted. Like I would love to just go and be with a group of my friends at a restaurant having drinks coming from work. Like,
Mm.
and I can't do that without a mask. I can't do that without the distancing. And I just can't live life the way that, you know, I've always known. And I did lose two family members due to the coronavirus. And that was very, very tough. But we just stuck together. We were just like saying, like, you know what? time is short. You never know what's going to happen. Let's just make
Right.
sure we know that we, say that we love each other every single day. Um, the amazing thing I noticed is that also with the coronavirus, it also showed how strong the FGC was because we all still kept in communication with each other. We check on each other, that it was not just something that we did on a side. This is not a hobby. This is not these are our extended family, you know?
Right.
And we pretty much were taking care of each other. And of course we have our low moments, but it just pretty much showed me like how strong we really are, even from home and from far away, and we can't be with each other physically. It was a lot, but in a way, like I would never ever want this to happen ever again. But at the same time, I'm glad to know that it shows us really who we are as people and show us like how great of friendships that we've had, and how strong we really are.
Do you miss tournaments? You miss the offline events and shenanigans and stuff like that? I know I do. Um,
I
I
please give
definitely
me some offline Marvel, please. I need Marvel in
uh,
my life. Oh my god. Woo. But yes, yes. Short answer, yes.
short
Long answer,
answer, yes.
yes.
Um, it's still surreal to me. Like, yeah, we're in a better place than we were this time last year. And like those first 3 4 months, 2 3 months. For some reason, I think when May came around last year, people I guess forgot for a second that we're in a pandemic and tried to live their best life, which I don't blame them. Um, but we got to stay, protected and make sure that we don't, you know, put ourselves in a situation where we can get sick or worse. And I know for me, like it's definitely been like kind of a gut check as to who you are and what's important around you and what are you willing to do to keep those things important to you. So I watched the whole community for the most part kind of evolve into this new state because of the situation that we're in. um do you feel like you've had a little bit of an evolution, perhaps, like with this, that you've learned something about yourself that you didn't know before the pandemic?
Yeah. I learned how much of a survivor I am. Like, sweetie, like when I tell you the things that we had to do to manage to make it over here.
I hear you.
Ooh, and a lot of things that I thought I didn't even have to do. Like I had to go ahead and fix certain things on my own. I'm sitting here lifting up the hammer, fixing up, breaking stuff, and I'm sitting here like, Mom, let me handle it. I got this. I'm like Tim the Tool Man Taylor out in these streets now, and I never was that before. I'm sitting here fixing broken sinks and stuff. I'm sitting here doing plumbing. I'm doing housework on the side and this and that, and I'm like, oh God, I didn't know I could go ahead and do that. And then another thing was whew, I didn't know that I didn't know I could really be like a therapist to people, because a lot of people were very vocal now since like the pandemic that they really want to have someone to talk to and help them with their depression. And I learned that I was able to actually calm some people down, especially since depression hits home, because I lost my brother because of depression and suicide. So I knew that I would be able to, like, you know, pretty much lend an ear to someone, but I did not know that I could really be there for someone that they felt like their friends or their family couldn't understand, what's going on here. So I learned that about myself during the pandemic, helping so many people, and that was amazing in itself. I was just like, whoa, you know.
Yes, definitely. Like, and again, like you'd be hard pressed not to go through some sort of evolution during this time. I think we've all had like some sort of a, whether it was minor or major, some sort of a transformation or just a realization of oneself and what we're capable of and what we're now known to do because of this. Um, I've definitely had that journey, and definitely spiritually, emotionally, just
Hmm.
and I know like for me, like I had to be like kind of an anchor. Like I think people look to me to kind of like be stable because I think when for me, if I'm in a situation where I lose it, I think people become concerned because of how I've always been as a person. So I know I always had to maintain being that anchor and just being that strong person, not just for me, but for people around me who more or less may depend on me just to be that strong person. And,
Right.
you know,
It's
it's
that deep.
testing time.
I'm sorry. I'm just like, wow, this was. Ooh, I'm like, do I need a Kleenex up in here? I'm sorry. I need some
Yeah, that
tissue.
tugged a little bit on the, you know, no, but it's our reality now. It's a new reality and stuff. And I ask that of all of us because it's affected all of us. And you can't, there's no one that we know that this has not affected in some shape
Right.
or form. And I guess it's also my way of just having a wellness check with everyone that I speak to, because we know we don't know how an individual is doing if we don't ask, right? Like I appreciate you coming today on the show, but I wouldn't know if there's something that you are really dealing with, and it's just a way for me to say to my guests, hey, you're here. I hope you're okay, and I'm happy that you're here, and that we can all move forward together to like better days to come.
And we appreciate you.
um, who are your favorite people? Um, people, famous, not famous personalities in the community that fighting game players, personalities. Like who are some of your favorite people to like either watch on stream or in person or just interact with, like when you go to events and stuff like that.
Mm, I have a few favorites. I would have to say I love to see Pink Diamond. That's my that's my rocket ace and everything. You know what I'm
I gotta
saying?
get her on the show for sure. I gotta pick her brain on the show one of these days for sure.
Yes, she's an amazing person. She's real. I mean, everyone sees her as the funny, but she's like deep down, she's a really amazing person. Like, oh my God, I wish I could just tell the world that. Um,
You just did.
I would have to. Oh well, yeah. There we go. Okay. Oh, I thought I saw something on my screen. I think it said an achievement I just did. It just said achievement. I told the world about Diamond. Ding. All right,
You should
so
put that
I would have
on
to.
the final cut. We'll put that on the
Yeah.
final cut.
Yes.
Achievement
Yes.
made.
Yes. Ding. I told the world. I would have to say Justin Wong is an amazing person too. To watch on stream, to watch play is an amazing guy. Chris G is also pretty amazing to watch and stuff like that. And I know like some people have that little, oh my God, what you said about black women thing. I'm like, I can talk about that later, but still, it's like no. He's actually a really nice guy. He's really dope
I
and stuff
think
like.
we know him. We know him enough that to say that it was just a mistake. That
It was
that
a
he
mistake.
is not
It
who
was
he
a
is,
mistake.
and it's not who he is. I know for us, we've always supported Christy, myself, and the team. Uh, New York guy, of course, we always rooted for him. Even when he moved to LA, and he was called LA Chris G for like a hot second, and
Yeah.
we always support him regardless. So we it was an unfortunate situation, but we know that he's a great guy deep down and wouldn't mean any harm for sure.
He's awesome. But all of that, just pretty much I love me some corn. I love me some all cats. I love me some a la carte. I love me some corn guys. Um uh Pretty much all of the Marvel guys, they're amazing too. Melanie. Melanie
Melanie,
is amazing. That's my, that's my girl. She's also a makeup artist too. So we kind of like from that,
yeah,
Melanie.
she'll be on the show. I know she's had a tight schedule, but she'll be on one of our future episodes definitely.
Awesome. Okay, I'll
I'll
make sure I'll text
definitely,
her.
I'll definitely talk back about you when we when we get to the show.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and give her a heads up. Be like, hey girl, we twinsies again. Hey girl. but there's just so many. Of course, Rod, you're an amazing
Oh
guy. You're
no,
super
you're not
nice with
supposed to
me.
mention
No,
me. Don't
no,
mention me.
no, but honestly, no, for real, for real. Like, cause the thing is, like, when I first saw you, like, you turned around, like, in a tournament, and you just looked like so strong and this and that, and I'm just like, ooh, like a little intimidated, like I had to do the little shimmy, dealing with you. Like, I'm like, woo, let me go ahead and get myself together before I approach this guy. And then you just came up like this little teddy bear. You were just so nice. And I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, where have you been all my life?
Then you're pressing buttons, and like screaming at people on my team. That's what I do. But no, I
So
definitely
yes,
appreciate
definitely you.
that. Yeah, definitely appreciate that. Yo,
But
like
there's
honestly,
just so
yo,
many
like
things.
it's I like it's so refreshing to even interact with people like you. I've had like Curtis on the show. DCB. He's always an awesome guy to just come in and just make sure that I see him before I do anything the weekend. And it's like some where we're at, like when we do events like Steve and I, we get so overwhelmed in the streaming aspect sometimes that we don't get to always enjoy the actual event. But there's always people like you, that come around and say hi, that makes all of this so awesome to always do and just come by. And then I just seen you guys afterwards hanging out. Um, and you were even there, assisting me at a DTN, the last one that we did.
Right,
Uh, yeah,
2019, right?
yeah.
Yes,
That
right?
was that was a rough year, as we know, and I know you saw me losing my mind a couple of times in that place,
And
for
I had to
sure.
go
But
ahead and do a little kumbaya on you, to make sure you're good.
yeah,
Because,
there's always
it
that
was rough.
there's always that support that you have of people like you in the community that's always makes it worth my while for sure to come back and do these things. So as long as you're around, I'll definitely come back and work at DTN.
Oh, don't be buttering me up like that. Don't be buttering me up.
I'm sorry,
You
ma'am.
better stop. Don't be buddying. Don't be doing that. But I appreciate it because sometimes I do ask around of like what people like think of me because I always try to bring like a positive energy or make sure everyone feels like okay, whatever. I just don't want to be seen as like the nag or like or like the annoying bubbly person. So, but yeah.
No, not at all. Not to me anyway. Um, what does the future hold for you? I know we're still dealing in a pandemic world. Hopefully, if I want to be optimistic, by this time next year, we'll be in a much better place.
Right.
Where do you see yourself in terms of your career? Where do you see yourself in terms of gaming and the FGC? Do you see yourself like just kind of just coming back to enjoy what you love? Do you see yourself being like some balling ass like makeup artist, like president? Like, what do you want in the books for you?
I can't. um Surprisingly, I see myself in the future of kind of combining both of my love together, which is gaming and makeup together more. I'm probably going to be doing um, maybe just more of like, makeup for like, some of the gamer, girls coming in and for tournaments and stuff like that. But I also feel like I don't know, like I felt this like even my prayers and this and that and like my energy. I already have a feeling that there will be a business in my name.
Okay.
I believe that wholeheartedly that my name is definitely going to be on the name of some checks, honey.
Okay. All right.
And pretty much it will be something that will help the community. I already got a little bit of like a feeler when for I'm not sure if you remember, but for a short time I was a CEO of a esports team for a little while,
Mhm.
um, and I got that feel that I was just like I really liked being in that position and helping a team and guiding them and also helping like other females in the FGC, and I was just like, I could get used to this, even though I'm not with them right now because my focus more was just going into the makeup side. I had to focus with that side of the career, which kind of landed me to the job that I am in now. But pretty much, I feel like there's definitely going to be a business in my name. What it will be,
It
I'm just
doesn't
gonna
matter
leave
what's going
that
to be.
to
We're gonna speak that into existence. We're gonna make sure
yes.
that
I have a
that
strong feeling.
happens. That you know, whether you do your LLC today or next year or whatever, it does have to be with the STEMI, like everyone says. But no, we're gonna speak that into existence for you because I think you'd be awesome at it.
Thank you. You're not talking about buttering me up, my God. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. I can't help it. I'm a nut.
I gotta do this for the show, man. I gotta do this so that you come back. I may need you to come back and talk about other things and be part of
Oh,
group discussions.
that's my invitation.
Yes, that is definitely an invitation. You know,
It's like,
matter of fact,
is that Steve
you
approved
will
too?
be
Is that
back.
Steve approved?
Yeah, you will be back. We're gonna speak that into existence too. You will be back.
Awesome.
I do want to thank you for being on here today and just giving us a little bit of your time, your hectic schedule. Um, is there any parting words you want to just leave the podcast with on your behalf?
Um, I only have one request when it comes down to the FGC. I really want to see more women at these tournaments playing their heart out and to not be intimidated by being around the men,
Yes.
because I've known so many girls, including groups like, the women's of the FGC or Combo Queens or, the EXO Academy,
Mhm.
I know that even though we are trying to lift each other up as women, I feel like there's still something lacking in the confidence of them to actually play with these guys at the tournaments. Like it will be more conversations of me with the girls saying, I know how to play this game. I am good with this game. But it's just like, okay, let's see it. Like, let's actually play instead of just waiting for a side event or a little suite or whatever. Like, just get in there. We don't need to separate
Jump in the
ourselves or have
fire.
like a women's league or whatever,
Mhm.
or kind of like tournaments and stuff. That's not really helping our purpose because we want to be seen as good as the men. We want to make sure that we are competing with the men. You can't go and try to preach for equality but then try to separate yourself from it.
Agreed. Agreed.
And I
Get in there.
and I go
Get
ahead.
in there and just bust that ass like equally, no matter who it is on the stage. Like, you know. And I shout out to the women that are part of the community, the ones that be part of the community in the future that come in and do what they got to do. And I know people like myself, Tiffany, you guys have our full support. Um, I just want more of you guys to be here. That's it.
Yeah. And also for the guys to not intimidate the girls
Right.
on purpose. My God. Hold on. I'm gonna need a minute
My
for this. Hold on. Don't be asking for us to come around, right? But then as soon as we get in, you asking us a questionnaire. As soon as we get in, like, what game do you like? Have you seen this anime? Or you ain't seen this anime? You ain't a real anime person. Or you ain't played this game that you ain't a real gamer. Or this, that, and the other. I did not come in here to play 20 questions with you.
No,
Who
we
is
didn't.
you? I'm sorry. I'm a woman that showered today and got myself to this tournament. How you smelly behind doing today? Okay? How you doing, smelly?
Oh God.
How you doing?
The
Okay.
facts have been spoken for sure. Oh man. Um, Before you go, shout outs. Anyone just want to shout out real quick? Just say hello, say how you been. That may watch this and stuff like that. Maybe out to your parents
Just
or something.
oh. All right. Shout outs. I would have to say my family. I
Mm-hmm.
love you all. You all know that. Thank you for supporting me, even though I'm kind of the odd person of the family because being the gamer, anime, and everybody else is doing like the doctor, lawyer, principal, and this, that, the other. You just got me. So it's like it's a little different, but thank you for supporting, you know, weirdo me. I really appreciate you. Um Shout outs to the whole FGC because you guys are amazing. I know that we get talked down a lot of not being like what is it, the best community because there's so many different ones that's doing this, that, and the other. Man, they just don't understand our swag. Okay, they don't
Mhm.
understand how we do things.
For real.
Playing fighting games and competing is hard work.
Hard work.
Okay, fighting games is hard. It's a talent that we have to go and deal with. Like, it is hard. So let them say whatever they gotta say to make themselves feel good. But at the end of the day, we know who we are. We
Right.
know exactly who we are, and we're doing good. Okay.
Mm.
Um. Other than that, with shout outs, pretty much that's it. It's like just the FGC, my family, friends, and that is all for me for now.
Oh my
Y'all
God.
cool.
Thank you. Thank you. You are so awesome to bless us with your presence today, and I thank you so much. Guys, once again, if you're
Having me.
listening to this, if you are just wanted to watch this at home, if you just wanted to check out everything while you're doing the dishes, we're on different podcast channels. We are here on Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, um, Spotify, Apple, YouTube for the video, so you can see the lovely Tiffany. If they need to put a face to the name, and you're watching live on Twitch. So I appreciate you guys for that. That being said, social media, yes. Oh my God, my producer is kicking my butt because I did not get your social media.
Uh
What is your social
oh.
media? You know, we can tell
Oh,
the masses
excuse me.
also like how to reach you on some beauty tips or tech and tips.
Oh, well, they can reach me at Tiffany Nazare. It's the same thing on Instagram and Twitter. I have my name on Facebook as Tiffany Nazare. I'm not sure what the ad is for that, but still, it's just Tiffany Nazare. But yeah, Twitter, Instagram, at Tiffany Nazare. That's all.
Awesome sauce. It's been my pleasure to have you on the show, and I thank you so much for just indulging me today. Everyone viewing and watching, thank you so much, and we'll see you guys next time on KPBCast. Have a good day. Take care.
Bye.
Knockout. You win.
This has been a KPB Media Works production.